I started playing football when I was about 8. I've been around football my whole life because my dad is a football coach. So football's been a part of my life since I was born. But I started to actually play organized football when I was 8. And then, from there it just progressively got to more organized and then into contact and then obviously college and now here. When I was younger, football was always good for me. Like I said, my dad was a coach, so I had an advantage most kids didn't have. I understood the game from a small age. My dad used to take me out and teach me plays, teach me concepts. I knew how to throw the ball, punt the ball, kick the ball, catch. I pretty much knew everything, so I had a really good understanding of the game, when I was a kid. Well, I guess my fondest memory of football was my senior year of high school. The team that I played for hadn't been to the playoffs in 10 years, and that season we were able to take the team to the playoffs. We went 1 or 2 rounds deep, and so that was pretty memorable to be on a team that hadn't been to the playoffs in 10 years, and then our team was able to get there, so that was pretty special. In college, I actually had a buddy that I played with, Colby Kirkard, at the University of Wyoming. He came over to Tirsa, and he played 2 years ago, and so after I graduated, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And so I asked him, if he liked playing in Europe, and he said he did. So I got in contact with Coach Leo. Asked him if he'd like to see me try out, see if I could play. He welcomed me with open arms. Everybody on the team did, and so that's how I got to get over here and play. Normally for me, it's different for everybody, but normally for me, when they call your number in the huddle, when you're going to get the ball, you kind of have to go through mental checks. So everybody lines up, and so you have to check your gaps. You got to make sure, if you're running to the right side, you got to look at the defenders, see where they're at, and then this all happens in a short, few seconds, about 5 seconds. So you have to mentally prepare yourself. You got to pay attention to where everybody's at, and then for me, it's like a last few checks. Make sure that my stance is right. Make sure that I know where I'm going. Make sure I know what the defense is doing, and then when they snap the ball, obviously, once you get the football, it's pretty much your athletic ability takes over, and all your preparation going into the game takes over. And that way you can have a successful run. So for me, it's sometimes it's nervous, especially if you need a first down or it's your first carry of the game. Sometimes you get a little bit nervous, or I know sometimes if you're in a game and you get hit a couple times pretty good, you don't get scared, but you kind of get weary. You maybe start looking out for the people that were hitting you pretty hard. You make sure you want to try to avoid them. But other than that, it's pretty much you run down your list and you make sure that you're ready, to give your team what they need from you. In America, we call that butterflies. You kind of get those, the tingling in your stomach. You get a little bit nervous. For me, that usually only happens in the beginning of the game. Maybe the first or second carry, you're just, you're really excited. You want to start going, and so, like I said, when you get the ball the first time, your nerves are really going. But for me, when you get hit the first time, when I get hit the first time, it's usually my nerves go away after that, and then you're just ready to play football. Sometimes if it's like a really, really, really big drive, or you're going down to score to win the game, you kind of get a re-up of nerves, some butterflies, but Normally, yeah, your blood's pumping and stuff before the game, and everybody's excited. Everybody's getting, their speeches are coming together, and they're just trying to get everybody hyped up. And when you get the ball the first time, yeah, you've got some nerves. But for me personally, when I get hit the first time, and I'm able to judge what kind of football game it's going to be, you have different games. You got hard-hitting games. You got more games built on speed, games that go faster, games that go longer. So once I figure out what kind of game it's going to be, I can kind of calm my nerves and know which way I'm going to go. Being a new player on the team it's always hard, because you have guys that have been there before, and you don't want to step on anybody's toes. You don't want to come in cocky. You kind of want to, for me, I always want to come in, know that I have confidence in myself and the things that I can do, but I also want to respect everybody that's already there. I kind of want to build a camaraderie with everyone, because you only win if everybody is participating at the same time. You don't want people thinking that they're better than one person or the other person. So, like, for this team in Tierra, I came in. I didn't want to step on anyone's toes. I didn't want to come in and I'm the big bad American. I know what's going on. I kind of wanted to come in and feel it out. Make sure everybody was comfortable, that I was comfortable. And I, not being from Sweden, I kind of wanted to cultivate relationships. Guys that I can talk to later. If I go back to the United States, you kind of build a friendship. But from a coaching standpoint, I think Coach Leo, he kind of expected me to come in and, show my knowledge and maybe try to help some of the younger guys, because I think he knew I could play football already, so the learning and all that didn't need to be there. It was, can you help the people around you? Can you share your knowledge with everyone? I guess the Ekeby game, that was the playoff game. That was a hard-hitting game. Those guys on that team could hit really hard, and I took some shots. I carried the ball quite a bit that game, and at the running back position, the more you carry, the more dinged up you get. Because you're taking all the hard hits, and in that game, I had taken a few shots to my knee, and I actually cracked a rib, and so if it had been a regular season game or a game that hadn't mattered, I might have let a younger guy come in or somebody else. But it was a playoff game. It was the game before the championship, so we needed to win, and that game was actually a really close game. And so I just sucked it up. I prepared myself mentally. I told myself that you can do this. There's only 10 minutes left, so you got to get through this, because the pain hurts now, but if you win a championship, it's all worth it. Usually when you're playing at home, it's always good because everybody's on your side. But when you play away, sometimes you hear some mean comments and stuff. I remember when I was playing in America, specifically in college, when you go to another team's stadium, the fans they can be really mean. I'm not the biggest guy, and so they'll call me Shorty or Shrimp Dick or something like that. So that's not ever fun to hear. But once the game starts and you get going, you ignore that kind of stuff, and then at the end of the day you kind of laugh about it, because it's part of the game. You have to learn to be mentally tough. A lot of guys playing football, they have athletic ability, or they're strong, or they're quick. They have a natural ability, but a lot of the times guys don't have a mental toughness. They can't say, the game's almost over, I'm really tired, I need to push through this. A lot of times, guys are just ready to give up. And, you can build, your body. You can mold your athletic ability. You can look at the playbook and learn and learn and learn. But one thing that you really have to build, and I think it's the hardest thing to build, is mental toughness. Saying to yourself, I can get through this. The people around me are depending on me. I can do this. I think that's the hardest thing to, the hardest skill to cultivate. But I mean, if you can cultivate it, then it makes you that better of a player. I mean, the plan is to stay here and play another season. If Coach Leo and the TRSO team, if they want me back, I'd like to play again. And just keep training and helping all the guys on the team. In the off season if they want help. Just trying to get everybody mentally prepared for the next season. Help out here and there if I can. And other than that, just get myself ready for the season. I think football is it's a sport. It's one of a kind. It's pretty much got a mix of a lot of things. You got to be tough. You got to be smart. You got to be strong. You got to be able to roll with the punches. But I think one thing football teaches you, if you play it safely, in the long run, it teaches you how to build friendships, and it teaches you how to build trust in people. Stepping away from the field, and when you're done playing, I know some of the best times of my life. My most fondest memories are, they're from football. They're from the locker room. They're from, inside the huddle, and when it's 3rd and 2, and you gotta get the first down to win. And you guys kind of give yourselves a pep talk in the huddle, and those are things that you live with for the rest of your life. That you can tell your kids later on, and they make really fun stories at the bar, and when you're out with your buddies or your girlfriend or whatever. Football can be hard, but it also can be one of the most fulfilling things you do.